Let's begin with the opening statement from candidate Lee Erickson, followed by the two other Republicans, and then we'll have the Democrats. 2.5 minutes.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you to the PCNR for hosting this debate. Thank you all for coming out tonight. My name is Lee Erickson, and I'm running for Philipstown Supervisor. Many of you know me. I'm a husband, father of 2. I run a small woodworking business right here in Philipstown, where I've lived my whole life. And I believe that everyone's opinion is important. That's how 2 years ago I helped successfully organize the Citizens of Philipstown organization. We were able to compel the current administration to change or amend portions of the zoning document to a more balanced zoning law that took into account all facets of our community. That's how I got into community activism. Unlike my opponent, I believe in bottom-up, not top-down, grassroots, over one-person rule. That's what our effort was, and that's why it was so effective. But the town should have never endangered property owners in the first place. It should never happen that a local government creates legislation that shuts down the very people who make a town viable. It should never happen that a local government should cater to the interests of one small group, to the near exclusion of the rest of the community. That's why I decided to run for office. My opponent will hang his hat here today on what he believes are his 2 greatest strengths: experience and education. Look at where that has gotten us. A failed New York State Comptroller's audit, no economic growth plan for the future. A contingency budget ran into the ground, incapacitating our highway department, alienating a large portion of our volunteer fire and emergency service personnel with a flawed study that sits on a shelf with a weapons law because it's campaign season. And most disappointingly, a level of arrogance that has divided us from our county government, as well as fractured us as a community. That's how my opponent earned the title, King Richard. The type of experience and education that my opponent bragged about is what breaks down the fabric of Philipstown and our local government. Join me to become part of the solution in restoring faith in local government by electing me Supervisor November 8th. Thank you.
Let's go by office, and then we'll do the council candidates. Mr. Shea, would you like to give your opening statement?
Sure, terrific. I want to thank the BCNR for giving me this opportunity to share our ideas. I want to thank Haldane School for allowing us to use the room. I want to thank all of you for coming out. This should be educational as well as entertaining, I guess. I also want to thank my opponent for coming out to share his ideas. Elections are about qualifications, and we have this board that I've been with has a long list of qualifications. They're about accomplishments, about a list of accomplishments, things that we've done over the last 2 years, things that I've done previously as a board member for 8 years. One of the things I'm most proud of is the zoning. I'm not going to back away from that. That doesn't sit on a shelf. That's a living document. We worked long and hard on that. It was a 5-year process, and we included probably 1,000 people in those meetings. We had one of the largest meetings we've ever had in this town. 400 people attended that meeting. We took input from everyone, anyone who had a good idea, and that's why in the end we got a consensus document. We never shut anybody out. That never happened. We did get a consensus document in the end that goes a long way toward protecting what we value most in this town. And that's clean water, open space, the quality of life that we all come to appreciate here. It's vital, that document, that we continue to work from that document. Some of the other things that I've done, my first year as budget officer was to cut $500,000 in spending. We went into the budget in a tough time, a tough economy. We wanted to show solidarity with taxpayers. So we lowered spending in recreation. We lowered spending in highway. We lowered spending in emergency services, all without cutting the quality of those services. We didn't gut the highway budget. We went in there and figured out a new way, a more novel way to finance projects. We're in the maintenance business. We're not in the capital construction business. Things that we should be farming out to contractors are capital projects, so we can get back to doing maintenance. We didn't gut any budgets, and no one saw a drop in services. We've also worked with seniors this year to secure a space at the Butterfield site. Seniors in this town deserve more, and we're going to see that they get it. They need their own space. They need a better lunch program, a better meal program. There's so much bounty here in this town with all the great restaurants and great chefs. We think that we can do better for the seniors. So we have a long list of qualifications. I think you have a long list of achievements, and I hope that you'll support me no matter what.